Illegal migration is now under the lens of the Sri Lankan authorities. The police department has combined with the Navy to arrest illegal migrants following the two tragedies that were reported off the Australian seas 2 months ago. Releasing official data, the police department noted that 1,200 individuals had been arrested for attempting to illegally migrate to Australia this year alone. This is a 150% increase compared to previous years. Meanwhile, in the latest development, another 76 persons who attempted to illegally migrate to Australia were arrested in Trincomalee and Point Pedro. Navy media spokesperson Commander Kosala Warnakula Surya said that 76 persons had been arrested while travelling in 2 boats. While 54 persons were on board the vessel captured off Point Pedro, the vessel captured in Trincomalee had 24 persons on board. The Navy media spokesperson said that the group had been handed over to the CID for further investigations. Now, what is the position of the Australian government? Joining us now is Chris Bowen, Australia's Minister of Immigration and Citizenship. Thank you very much, Minister, for joining us this evening. Let me start off asking you, what is the position of your government on illegal immigration?
Australia is a humane nation, a compassionate nation. We take many refugees, but this must be through the proper processes, through application in other countries, and then Australia agreeing to accept those claims. We do not agree or encourage in any way people coming to Australia by boat.
Minister, why has your government adopted a reactive approach and not a proactive one to combat the issue of illegal immigration? Now, this was very evident from the recent statement made by your Prime Minister as well.
We have faced some hurdles and some roadblocks, but we've broken through those now. We've got the legislation through to Parliament. It's been passed through both houses of Parliament. It is now the law of Australia, and we're implementing that law.
Many accuse your government of not having a clear policy on who an illegal immigrant and a potential refugee is. Tell me, Minister, how do you view the difference?
Well, of course we have a process for assessing who are genuine refugees and who are not. We do that very rigorously and we treat everybody humanely. But what we're not doing is providing an advantage to people who come by boat, as opposed to those many hundreds of thousands of people who apply to come to Australia as refugees in refugee camps around the world.
Are you satisfied the manner in which Sri Lanka has stepped up efforts to arrest boat people? Do you think more has to be done, Minister?
I think everybody, of course, across the world obviously needs to keep a focus on people smuggling issues, and I know the Sri Lankan government is doing that, so I do appreciate the efforts they've taken, yes.
Now, it's 3 years since the end of the conflict here in Sri Lanka. Does your government still accept refugees from Sri Lanka?
We assess everybody's claim on an individual case-by-case basis, and if they can establish that they are refugees, then they will not be returned. If they are not refugees, they will be returned.
Now, a new law was implemented in your country. What will happen to the existing illegal immigrants?
Those who had arrived before last Monday will be processed and their claims assessed. If they are refugees, they will be granted visas. If they are not refugees, we will take steps to return them to their country.
So does that mean that illegal immigrants will not be processed in Australia now?
We are not processing people in Australia at the moment. Anybody who arrives at Australia from last Monday runs the risk of being transferred to Papua New Guinea or Nauru.
Minister, what is your message to the potential illegal immigrant?
That coming to Australia by boat not only risks your life, but is a complete waste of money. You will not get the product that you are after. I understand the wish of many people to live in Australia, but coming by boat is not a way that the Australian government will tolerate. It is a way that risks your life, and we will ensure that you are processed elsewhere and that you receive no advantage in coming to Australia by boat.
Thank you very much, Minister, for joining us exclusively right here on News First.
Thank you very much.
Now, is it really worth risking your life in pursuit of an uncertain tomorrow? A question an immigrant has to answer before putting his life on the line. Shamir Rasuldeen, News First.